Hello, students. My name is Jean Wilwall. I'm the Senior Director in the Residential and Commuter Life Office. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial regarding the apartment registration process for this year. You'll see at the bottom of the screen our email address is there, housing@longwood.edu, and also our office phone number. So if you have any questions after today, feel free to reach out to our office directly, and we'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have about the registration process. So first, I just wanted to highlight some of the housing options for next year. We are going to continue with our 12-month housing program. What this is if you currently live at the Landings or Lancer Park this semester and you sign up for the same exact space for next year during squatting registration, you will be eligible for 12-month housing or summer storage at no additional cost to you. What this means is that if you want to stay in your apartment over the summer and participate in 12-month housing, you'll be able to do that. Or if you're planning on not staying in Farmville over the summer, but you want to store your items in your apartment, then you'll be eligible to sign up for the summer storage program. Additional information about signing up for those programs will be sent out to students after we complete the registration process. We also are going to continue with the parking pass at Lancer Park that allows students to park at Lancer Park and also in the commuter spaces on the main campus. Meal plan options in the apartment communities are different than the residence halls. Students that live at Lancer Park and the Landings are able to choose from the block meal plans. They can also choose from the All Access and Weekly 14, but they are not required to choose those meal plans. They would be able to choose the Block 50 or the Block 80 meal plan. So next, I just wanted to talk about the dates for the registration, and I'll go through the detailed timeline. A registration will begin February 16th, and it'll go until February 25th. If you're planning on registering for an apartment with a group of your friends, you'll need to create a roommate group and make sure anybody you've invited to that group has accepted membership prior to housing registration. I will explain in a few minutes how you form roommate groups. Students are eligible to register for apartments without full occupancy, but are encouraged to fill all the spaces in the apartment. What that means is if you have a group of three, you can sign up for a 4-bedroom apartment without having a fourth roommate. We would just fill that additional space with another student that is interested in apartment living. Housing registration will be conducted each day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Student Housing Gateway. Um, as I mentioned earlier, students will form roommate groups. And what will happen is you form that roommate group prior to registration, and then only one person from your group needs to complete the registration for your entire group on your day to register. And I will show you how to do that in a few moments as well. So first, I wanted to talk about squatting registration. Squatting registrations will take place on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. So on any of those 3 days, if you are a student that currently lives at the Landings or Lancer Park and you want to return to the same apartment next year, this will be your day to register yourself and any roommates. The student logging into the housing gateway on these dates needs to be somebody who currently lives in the apartment unit, but they can then pull in any roommate they would like to register for the apartment. So for example, I may be living at the Landings this year and I want to return to the same apartment, and my current roommates aren't coming back. I can pull in new roommates to live with me for next year as long as I've added them to my roommate group on the registration day. But since I'm the person who currently lives in the apartment, I would need to be the designated roommate logging into the housing gateway on this day to complete the registration for the group. We will also be conducting the studio lottery from February 16th to February 18th. We have 30 studio apartments on campus. Studio apartments are solo apartments where only one student lives in the apartment. Since we have so few of these apartments, we do reserve this for only juniors and seniors. So you need to have at least 56 completed credits in order to submit a studio lottery application. The 2 and 4-bedroom apartments do not have a credit requirement, so any student can sign up for a 2-bedroom or a 4-bedroom apartment during registration. The studio apartments are the only apartments that we handle differently just because of the limited numbers that we have available. So you would submit your lottery application between the 16th through the 18th. And then the RCL office will notify you by 12 noon on Thursday, February 19th, if you've been a recipient of the studio lottery. The following week, on Monday, February 23rd, we will conduct senior apartment registration. This is the day to register if you have at least one person in your group who has 89 or more completed credits. That individual would be your designated roommate. They would be the person that would log into the Housing Gateway on this day and register your entire group. So, for example, I may have 95 completed credits and my other roommates have 45 credits. That's fine. I would just be the person to log in that day because I have 95 completed credits. And then I can pull in those other students on the day that I register for housing. Then the next day would be Tuesday, February 24th, when we would do junior apartment registration. This would mean that you have at least one person in your group with 56 or more completed credits, and that student would register the entire group for housing on this day. The third day of registration that week will be on Wednesday, February 25th, and this is for roommate groups where everybody in your group has 55 or less completed credits. This would be your day to register for an apartment unit. Just some helpful tips and reminders. The housing and meal plan rates for next year are published on our website. I previously sent the link to those rates in the email that I sent you regarding housing registration, but you can go directly to our website and view that as well. We recommend discussing those rates with whoever helps you pay for your housing so you ensure that you sign up for a space that is going to fit with your financial plan. Students can access the Student Housing Gateway directly through the links that I've sent in the emails. You can also find the link on our website, and then you can also find the link underneath the Lancer dashboard on the Maine University website. I always encourage groups to talk about where their first place to live choice is to live and their second choice. Because in the event that your first choice is full when your designated roommate goes to register, it is helpful for them to know where to go next for registration. So for instance, if you really wanted a 2-bedroom apartment at Lancer Park, and when you go to register, they have all filled, does your group want to sign up for a 4-bedroom at Lancer Park, or does your group want to try and sign up for the Landings in a 4-bedroom? So it's just important to talk about that ahead of time. What the Residential and Commuter Life Office will do to assist students is at the end of squatting registration, we will put an announcement on our website of the number of apartment units that remain in each community. That will be on the website after 6 p.m. We will do the same thing after senior registration. We will put an announcement up of how many apartments remain in each community. You can look to see that around 6 p.m. or later the evening before your registration day. And then once junior registration ends, we will post an update on how many apartments remain going into sophomore registration day. We do that just so students have a good idea of what the likelihood is that they would get into their first choice the following registration day. The other thing that is really important is that making sure anyone you've invited to your roommate group has accepted membership prior to your day to sign up for housing. Only students who've accepted membership in the group will be able to be pulled in when you sign up for an apartment. In the event that some students are unable to select an apartment space, those students will be able to submit an apartment waitlist form. And then once additional space becomes available, those students would be contacted by the Residential and Commuter Life Office. Now what I'm going to do is show you what the roommate group form is going to look like, and then also what housing registration is going to look like on the day you register. This screen should look very familiar. This is the login screen for the Student Housing Gateway, where you would log in with your LancerNet ID and password. Once logged in, you will see your name highlighted in yellow, as well as something called an RMS ID number. The RMS ID number is the number you will use to invite people to your roommate groups. So for example, if I have 3 friends that I want to invite to my roommate group, I would reach out to them and ask them to give me their RMS ID number. And that is how you will search and add students to your roommate group. And all students can find their RMS ID number right on the welcome screen when they log into the Housing Gateway. The roommate group form is available now in the Housing Gateway. So if you were to go to the Housing Gateway, you can start forming your roommate groups now. There also is a button to view your completed credits. So if you are unsure of how many completed credits you will have for housing registration, you can just click on that button to view that information. And then once we start apartment registration, there will be an additional button there for apartment registration. So next I want to show you the roommate group form. When you get to the roommate group form, the instructions are right there on the screen to tell you what to do. But all you need to do is go to the bottom of the screen where you see that green Create Group button and click on it. Once you click on it, you will see this drop down. So in this example, I have created this roommate group and I am designated as the leader. Anybody who creates the roommate group is designated as the leader. They don't have any special powers. They don't have to be the person that registers your group for the apartment. The system just designates them as the person who created the group by saying they're the leader. Next, you'll see there are two other people I've already added to the group. One, Betty Newman, is listed as a member, and the other one, Courtney, is listed as invited. So the difference between those two things is that I have invited Betty to the group, and she has gone in to accept membership in the group, so she's a member. Courtney has not accepted membership yet, but has been invited to the group. Next, I'm going to invite another student to my group. And so I am going to search for that student, putting in their RMS ID number, and I will click on the search button. When I click on the search button, it will bring up that individual's name, and then I will click the green select button to add them to my group, and then their name will show above in the list with the other students. Something that is very important is once you've added people to your roommate group, you need to click finish at the bottom of the screen in order for this to be saved in the system. Once you click finish, the system will send emails to the students you've invited, instructing them to log into the Housing Gateway, click on the roommate group form. When they get into the roommate group form, they're going to see their name listed in the group, and they're going to see two buttons next to their name. One will be to accept membership in the group, and one will be to decline membership in the group. So they will want to click on the accept button and then click finish at the bottom of the screen to accept membership in the group. As students accept membership in the group members will receive emails letting them know that that individual has now accepted membership in the group. If you want to double check prior to housing registration that everyone has accepted membership, you can simply go to the Housing Gateway, click on the roommate group form, and view your roommate group. And if everybody's status is either leader or member, then you know you're good to go for housing registration. If you see that somebody is still in invited status, you're going to want to reach out to them prior to registering to make sure they go in and accept membership in the group. So you will receive a confirmation message once you've submitted the roommate group form. And as I mentioned earlier, emails will then be sent to everybody in the roommate group to let them know that they've been invited. Next, I want to show you what housing registration is going to look like on the day you register for housing. So as I talked about earlier, you just need one of your group members to log in on your day to register and sign up your group. So on this first screen, at the bottom, anybody who accepted membership in your group is going to be listed there as roommate group members. So if you see that everybody you're expecting to be a part of your roommate group is listed there, then you're good. Go ahead and click next step and proceed with your registration. If there is a student that is missing, then you're going to want to contact them and have them accept membership before you move on in the process to sign up for an apartment. So we're going to go ahead and click next step. And it's going to bring you to this screen where you will be able to search for a specific apartment that you would like to sign up for. So you can search for apartments in one of two ways. One, you can use the room type description and you can search for 2 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, whether it's at the Landings or Lancer Park. Or if you just want to search by community, you can just click on the Landings or Lancer Park and then everything in those communities will populate in your search results. So in this example, I searched by Lancer Park 4 bedrooms. So all of the 4 bedrooms that are available have shown up on the screen. I can scroll through that list and find the apartment I want to sign up for. Once I've found that apartment, I am going to click on the yellow lock icon that you see to the far right of the screen to register for that apartment. What that will do is lock that apartment so no other students can sign up for it while you're completing the registration process. So once you click on the yellow lock icon, it will take you to this screen. The only thing you have to do now is put each student in a bedroom in the apartment. A and B bedrooms will share a bathroom, and C and D bedrooms will share a bathroom. If you get to this screen and you realize this isn't the apartment that you wanted to sign up for, you don't have to start all over again. All you need to do is click on the release lock button, and it will take you back to the previous screen where you can select another apartment. But if you're sure that this is the apartment you want to sign up for, all you would do is use the drop downs to place you and your roommates in the bedrooms you would like them to be assigned to. Once you've done that, all you need to do is go to the bottom of the screen and click finish, and then you will have completed the registration process. You will get a confirmation message that you have successfully completed registration. You and any roommates that you have assigned to housing will all receive emails letting them know where they've been signed up to live next year, and it will also provide a link for each student to sign up for their own meal plan. So your designated roommate is going to sign up the entire group for housing, and then each individual is going to sign themselves up for a meal plan. So this concludes the tutorial regarding the apartment registration process. If you have additional questions regarding registration, please feel free to email us at housing@longwood.edu. You can also call us at 434-395-2080, or feel free to stop by our office, which is on the ground floor of Eason Hall. Thank you very much for attending this tutorial.